Hi everyone, it's Keith and Paula's Pond Build. As you know, I'm Paula. Well, could be Keith, but I'm not. So we are on the end of week 1 of our pond build project. So I just wanted to do a video to update you where we're at and what we're doing. Now, as of up to this point, you've only heard me. You've not seen Keith. You might get a sneak preview in this video. The girls, big fluffy bitches, as you can see, they've just been fed. I've put down the fake grass. They're all nice and happy in their own little bit. Hopefully they'll be quiet throughout this. Ness is out there somewhere. So let's go and see what progress we've had today. I've not gone into great detail so far. You don't want a lot of detail about people digging a bloody hole. But what I do want to highlight is the importance of getting the dimensions right. So here's the digger ready to go back tomorrow. There's a cement mixer which we got second hand on eBay, which has saved a bit of money. There's the brains of the project, aka Keith, and this is where we're at now. It looks dark because it's under a massive tarpaulin that is built. Basically, he wants to try and keep it as dry as possible so he can work as much as he can. We were still stressing a bit yesterday. Well, not stressing, just a bit concerned because the digger's going back tomorrow. So we wanted to make sure this was done. So we had 2 guys here, 8 o'clock this morning, 10 to 8. They were knocking on the door. They've done a grand job, to be fair, to make sure that we've got the depth, the width, everything that we need for the pond and the filter house. And they've even made us a little ramp for when, which we didn't think about actually, because this is where the seating area is going to be here, but it will help when we come to move the blocks from the front garden down to here. They've moved all the soil right up to the back, so when the grabber lorry comes into the park it can reach all that. So, and then there's a pile just in front which is the good stuff, which we will use to slant this off, level it off, do whatever we want. But that project is a million miles away at the minute. Okay, so this is the pond, well, or what will be, and the yellow line across that wall there is level with this paved patio section. We have changed the size slightly, basically because of the project we want to do after this. So now we've lined it up so it ties in with that edge of the bungalow and also this edge here, this one, so it will line up nice, because eventually here we will have an extension, and there will be those patio doors will be here in effect along this way. And yeah, it's just going to be amazing when it's finished, but that's for another day. So up to now we've got the right depth. Well, it's a lot deeper than what it needed to be, which isn't a problem, because obviously we need to set the drains in there, and make sure that the base is proper solid. As you can see, there's an old iron gate. Wasn't an old iron gate, that's an iron gate from the front garden, which Keith happened to wreck when he reversed his van in when we moved in, because the driveway was a little bit short. But we've had those driveways widened now, but it's gone in here as part of ground fill to make sure we've got, so we need to make sure there's a proper solid base in here because of the size that we're having it. We need to make sure it is not gonna leak. As you can see, there's Keith spent a lot of time mapping this out, making sure it's square. And you see that circle just there, that's where Spindrifter's going to sit. He's started to put one in situ there. Nothing is, the pipes have just been shoved in together. They've not been solvent adhesive or nothing yet. It's just a case of making sure that we get this part right. He started to dig out, you see that bit there in the recess, that's where the pipes are going to come up into the filter house. We've got the majority of the kit, we're just waiting for the 90-degree angle 4-inch pipe bits. Been a bit of an issue with supply and demand. Apparently there's a bit of an issue with supply everywhere at the moment, with quite a lot of projects, products, and this seems to be one of them that's been impacted because of what's going on out there in the world. But we don't want to talk about that, so we went for Spindrifters, and we did a lot of research into bottom drains, and this is the one that a lot of people have recommended, a lot of people rave about. We want to make sure we get this 100% right. So when we ordered the kits, it comes with the 3-meter pipe, which is there, which isn't quite long enough to fit the length that we need it to go into the filter house. So you can purchase that pipe in 6-meter lengths. So we're going to do that because we do not want to have any joins under the concrete or in the concrete more than we need to have. So I'm going to get that on order tomorrow, and also a piece of air pipe if that comes in 6-meter lengths. I'll do the same. If not, we'll think about that when I get to it. But from what I can gather, rather than it being 4 meter square internal dimensions, it's going to be it's not going to be a million miles away. It's going to be probably 3 meters 88 length from where I am over there, and width is 3 meters 77 or 3 meter 80. So it's not going to be much smaller, but that's purely because we wanted to line up the walls of the pond with these corners. Oh, hello Star, she's proper intrigued by what I'm doing. The only reason I've not let them out is because Maggie's proper thick. She isn't the brightest dog in the block, and if I let her out, this one here, she is likely to go running up there, run on the tarpaulin. That's all going to go tits up, and you can picture what I'm picturing in my head. So, and we've spent quite a bit of money to get this tarpaulin. Keith spent a lot of time today to get it up because we're expecting rain next week, and we do not want this to fill up with water because it's just going to be a clay muddy mess. I have spoke to the grabber driver. He can't come till Thursday. If it does rain before that, he won't be coming to get that because there's no way he's driving over that park after rain. There's another couple of companies' numbers I've researched today, so I'm going to give them a ring first thing in the morning, see if they can come tomorrow while I've still got the key for the gate for the park, which has saved a lot of hassle, to be fair. But this is where we're at. The next stage is literally to get these in. You can see that we're just looking around for old rubbish, rubble blocks and stuff that we can break up and put in here as MOT. Because that then is obviously going to help with the cost of the concrete that we need to put in, because we've had it dug a lot deeper than what we needed it to be, but we wanted to make it right. So for the importance of this, I guess what I'm trying to say is when you've got a digger, you need to check your square time and time and time again, and you need to make sure it is right. You need to make sure it's the right depth, the right width, the right length. If you're going to join it up to anything, you've got to make sure it aligns with those corners, etc. That pole there is the proper centre of the pond. The top of those little pegs that you see sticking out, by the way, is how that will be the bottom of the pond eventually. So yeah, we've got a lot to fill in, but we're not too fussed about that right now. We want to make sure that we got it right, so I'd rather have it deeper than not deep enough, because having to dig out this kind of size, as you can appreciate, is a lot of work. That's my little shovel. I'm not very big, like 8 stone wet or whatever, 9 stone wet now. Through COVID, I put stone on somewhere. And one of the labourers today was taking the piss, said that am I going to use that for making sandcastles on the beach? So thanks for that. What I will say is the digger I hired from a company called Chase Plant Hire, I hope they don't mind me shouting them out, but it was the cheapest by far that I found after researching. So if you are in the Midlands around Derby, Burton area, then I would highly recommend them. For the week it has cost me £250 plus VAT plus delivery and collection. In total was £372 for the week, which was a proper decent price in my bag. And we got it for an extra day, but with it being bank holiday as well, which I was proper chuffed about. So I guess that's where we are right now. And the next stage, I'll take a video once we've got the 90-degree bends in and worked out how much more we need to dig out for the filter house, because they're going to come up into that area there. I know there's a big pile of lump of soil there at the moment, but that's all going to be used to backfill whatever. What we are considering doing, and I wouldn't mind a bit of input actually, or a bit of feedback, comments, whatever, with this being so deep and in a proper solid clay, that base is solid clay, we were wondering, because we are gonna build it with the blocks laid flat, as in that way, hold on, that way, so laid that way as opposed to that way. The blocks underground, we were thinking to try and save a bit of money. Is it worth putting them in this way, upright, right against the clay, back filling it with sand and cement, and then when we get to this height here where we start to build above, then start to lay them that way for the strength and rigidity and everything? Just an idea. So it'd be good to get a bit of feedback on that, as if to what people think, if that would be feasible. If not, we'll lay them all that way, which isn't a problem. It just means it's going to cost a bit more, but we do not want anything to go wrong, so it'd be nice to have feedback if anybody's done it that way. Obviously when you go from that way to that way, there's a massive difference in width, so if we then did that, then what was under, like if that would go on there, and under there would be a concrete foundation under half of that, if that makes sense, for the top half, for the top meter. It's just a thought. So any feedback, if anybody's done it that way, would be nice, because you know, at the end of the day, we're doing this on the back of watching other people's projects. It'd also be good if anybody had a guess of how much we've actually spent so far after 1 week. Bear in mind, we have bought a filter that we didn't need to buy yet, albeit second-hand. We've got a second-hand Draco drum filter sat in the spare bedroom at the minute, which is probably going to be there for a while. But if anybody wants to have a guess at how much we've spent so far, go for it. And that's it from me at the end of week 1. Me and the girls and Keith and Ness. We'll see you soon.